Well, hello again from the snug upstairs here in Maddens Bar in Belfast. Fáilte isteach Hig pod creating the seachtaine a charge is more ugging Wernéistecht. This is another episode of Music at Maddens, the podcast. I'm Lynette Fay, and I have to say thanks to everybody who has listened so far. The response to the idea and the conversations has been just brilliant. So thank you for listening. Thanks to all the guests as well who sit down in the snug each week and share their stories with us. Just having a chat that could really go anywhere, because that's what it's all about. That's just how comfy it is up here. So do subscribe, give us a rating please, and leave a comment, and all that feedback really, really matters. And all proceeds from this podcast, I should tell you as well, go into a scholarship pot. So Music at Maddens will fund, and already has funded, scholarships for teenagers to attend masterclasses and summer schools for Irish traditional music and the Irish language. And we really want to help young people find their connection with the music, the language, and find their voice. That's what we're all about. That, and obviously giving a platform to brilliant people, members of the traditional music family at home, right across Ireland and internationally. So, who is with me in the snug this week? Oh, well, it's a woman from Brosna, County Kerry, concertina player who also works with children with special educational needs. A real character who, since she was a teenager, has been an ambassador for the Patrick O'Keefe Festival. Greta Curtin, you are very welcome to Music at Maddens.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Do you know, I feel like, full disclosure, we have to tell everybody, because, these episodes are going out week on week, and we've recorded them a wee while ago. We were both at the John O'Neill Festival in Tyrone last night. You've travelled up from Tyrone this morning. Yeah. It was a late one, fair to say.
It was a late one. And the first thought when I woke up this morning, I was like, I know I told Lynette a few stories at some stage, and what did I tell her?
You did?
I did.
And I am just hoping, for the sake of our listeners and our viewers on YouTube, that you'll maybe tell those stories again, Greta.
I did warn you'd be getting a much quieter version of me today.
I think that's the challenge I have today, is maybe to warm you up a wee bit.
Just get me going for more tunes this evening, yeah.
Oh, stop. So what's it like whenever you come up here and come up to the north, up to somewhere like Tyrone? Like, you were in the sticks, you're staying in Donaghmore. Last night the big gig was out in Galway Community Centre. Like, and if you didn't know this place existed, you wouldn't know it was there. Yeah, the crowd was massive. It was huge.
Massive. Like, and I had 2 pains in my face by the end of last night from smiling. I was like, this is just the highlight of my year. It's been the highlight of the last 2 years. Like, 3 of my favourite bands, with Matt Malloy just thrown in for good measure. Like, it got better and better.
We should explain for context. There was a big night last night celebrating the genius that is Cathal Hayden, and so with the Martin O'Connor Band and Bow Brothers, and then 4 Men and a Dog, and then Matt Malloy up on stage with Cathal and Martin and Shamie and Jimmy Higgins. Like, it was special.
It was just class. Like, you'd be speechless about it.
And the youngsters too. There was a wee Skull Trad Torrent where they're starting things off, which I thought was a lovely touch, because Cathal Hayden still teaches wee ones, and then so do you. You know, you're
even for those kids, some of them are probably don't realise who they were supporting. Do you know that kind of a way? Yeah. That they're like, oh, there's this big concert on. Yep. Cathal from down the road has a few bands, like, do you know, and it'll be in a few more years when they're a bit older, they'll be like, oh my goodness, I shared a stage with these amazing musicians. But it was a class night.
It sounds to me like you're saying that from experience, because that has happened to you in the past, where you've had opportunities like that.
Absolutely. Like, growing up, I'm from a little village called Brosna, and there's a festival there, the Concertina Festival, and we were always called in. Do you know, you get the local kids in to open the concert, and you wouldn't realise. Say Donal Murphy would be the prime example. He used to be there. It could be Slíabh Notes or any band. But to us, that was just Donal from down the road. Like, oh, he plays a bit of music. He has some bands. I think he goes on tour now and again. And then as you get older, you're like, oh my God, that's who I was sitting next to growing up, that like encouraged us to play our music, always got you to play your tune that, you know, you'd be sitting in the session, you might know 10 tunes out of 50. And it was always Donal and those people that were like, go on, you start your set of tunes now. Or they knew that the concertina was always in the boot of the car.
Yeah. And always encouraging you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
well, that's the big thing about it. So you mentioned they're from Brosna, which is in Kerry. And Donal very proudly is from Abbeyfield in County Limerick.
Yeah.
So it's a part of the world where there's a border between Limerick and Kerry.
And Cork is very close by
Cork,
too.
that's right.
It's the three counties meet there. Like, yeah.
So how aware are you of that when you're growing up
Very.
musically?
Very, very. Like, so I'm in Brosna, which is Kerry, but I went to secondary school in Abbeyfield, which is Limerick. And like, even now, because I would play so much music in Abbeyfield, you'd go places and they're like, Greta Curtin from Abbeyfield. I'm like, no, Brosna. It's Kerry. But some of Abbeyfield is actually in the county of Kerry as well. The football pitch is in Kerry. But that's a touchy subject with some of the locals.
It's brilliant. There's that everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's everywhere you go.
Yeah, but I think it ignites something though, and brings a sense of pride, because it intensifies the pride that you have in where you're actually from, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is like, it's just, you know where you're from, you know who your neighbours are, but you're always so proud to be who you are too. So, you know, I am Kerry. I'm not from Limerick, I'm not from Cork. And that's just kind of the pride everyone has, I suppose, in their parish or their village or town.
I do, for sure. So, music then, your path into music, you're from a big enough family, but you'd no music at home or anything like that? You just,
No, not
your
really.
parents wanted you to have this?
So I am the second youngest of 7 kids. And my auntie actually started music classes in the village. And I just think that the Curtin family were probably roped into a lot of these things because you had 7 taking part. So I went along with my tin whistle and I sat there. I was 4, I think, when I started the tin whistle. And after a year or 2, I wanted this thing. I had seen a fiddle on the telly. There was no fiddle in my house. I'd seen it on the television. I was like, I want this.
Can you remember who was playing it?
Haven't a clue.
Right.
And I just wanted, but my mom was like, I don't play music. I have 7 children. I'm not bringing a tunable instrument into the house. She goes, I need something that will just do what it's told. And I was too small for an accordion. So I got a concertina. But mommy knows best. And I love it since.
The rest is history.
Yeah, that's it. Like.
And then, where concertina is concerned, then who would you have looked up to, or who would have shown
we were
you the way?
very lucky. It was a big accordion fiddle country, so Willie Larkin was the teacher in the branch, an accordion player, and then he stopped teaching in Brosna, and he recommended that we would go to Tournafulla, which is West Limerick, because Timmy Collins was the teacher there, and Timmy had a concertina class, so I'd say there was maybe 30 concertina players just sitting staring at Timmy, waiting to absorb all the information that he'd give you. Do you know, like we were chatting about it lately, growing, like you see now loads of kids will, if they play concertina, they go to a concertina teacher. If they play fiddle, they go to a fiddle teacher. Mm-hmm. Whereas when we were younger, it was kind of the luck of the draw. You went to the teacher in the local cultus branch, and if they played the same instrument as you, brilliant.
Quids in,
yeah. And like you know, the private lessons aspect wasn't as big, I don't think, when we were kids compared to now.
Yeah. I don't think anybody could afford it.
Like coming up to a competition, you might get an all one-on-one to be like, what are you doing there?
Yeah. And that's probably if someone identified that you had a specific talent that was worth really investing in at that point. Yeah. Just to bring you on that wee bit more.
That's it, the little bit. But I think the concertina class in Tournafulla was a massive thing for us, like. But now that, you know, like any child, there'd be weeks and you wouldn't have opened the case since the week before. But it was very easy to blend in with 20-something other concertinas and let on that you had done your work too, do you know?
Oh, very good, very good. Yeah, you weren't ever under the spotlight.
No.
But then, you know, that idea of not having any music in the family and then getting into music, we're seeing more and more of that now, Greta. And kids who are just, because they've discovered music online and they've seen it and want to do, that's what I want to do. That's the instrument I want to play. Parents go and seek it out and don't think about the fact that there's no tradition that's gone down from generation to generation in the family. But that's not the case with you. There was always that wee bit of kind of feeling like an outsider. Couple of focal anish o lucht ariha and fod crealta. Hatch on the Falls Road are proud sponsors of this week's Music at Maddens. Hatch is nestled along the charming Falls Road. It's not just a cafe, it's a thriving hub of warmth and community, and most importantly, exceptional food and drink. I know, I have tried it many times, and Hatch manages to capture the essence of Ireland while adding this lovely unique twist using locally sourced ingredients that support farmers and producers, and the commitment to quality is what sets them apart and elevates a classic breakfast, lunch or dinner into a culinary experience. So beyond the delectable food and coffee, Hatch on the Falls Road is also a community space. It's where friends meet, families gather and good conversations flow as freely as the coffee, and the welcoming atmosphere just invites you to sit back and relax and indulge in a little slice of life. So I encourage you all, if you haven't already, to visit Hatch on the Falls Road. Treat yourself to the best coffee and an unforgettable Irish breakfast. Experience the warmth of the staff who are always ready to greet you with a smile and a recommendation. Avalon Guitars are proud to sponsor Music at Maddens, still made by hand, still made to matter. And Avalon Guitars began with a simple belief that the soul of an instrument is shaped by the hands that built it. And in their workshop in Newton Ards and County Down, tradition and intuition guide every cut, carve and tap. There are no production lines, only luthiers, and every single piece of wood is chosen with care, every guitar voiced individually, every detail considered, not just for beauty, but for balance and for resonance and for feel. And Avalon guitars are played on stages and in studios across the world, but they're born in the quiet where craftsmanship still matters, built to last, built to inspire, built to become part of your story. AvalonGuitars.com for more details.
There was like absolutely, do you know, like listening to other people chatting and they were going to festivals with their parents. Like, we didn't know what the Willie Clancy Festival was until I was 9 or 10, because someone mentioned it to mum and dad, and they're like, okay, that's where we need to take her next. And in fairness to my parents, when they were given a recommendation to, you should try this festival or you should try this summer school,
they went with it.
They went with it. Like, and we were farmers, so sometimes it was me and mum. Dad was at home milking the cows, but they were like, we had no idea what the Willie Clancy was, and mum was like, okay, should they say this is great, we'll take her off for a week. And then it was like, okay, we can't miss that any other year, do you know? And just being really lucky that where I am at home, there's great local festivals. So like any musicians that I admired and looked up to were musicians that I had actually seen in real life, because the Fly by the Field would be on and they'd be playing there and I'd buy the album and that would be my new favourite band. Like, So Foreman and the Dog, obviously, as a child did a concert. Whereas, like, I remember one time, I'd say I was 12 or 13, and somebody mentioned Fluke, and I was like, who are they? Because I had never seen them in my little corner of the world. So, but then, like, I discovered them. I was like, this is class.
Yeah.
And as a teenager, I was able to kind of chase a bit more myself and find some more music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I owe a lot to the effort that my parents put in as a child. Like,
No, but that's great that they were open to that as
yeah,
well.
absolutely. Like, even though they didn't play music, they did like Irish music and they enjoyed it and stuff. But like, they were just kind of as lost as I was in the world of where to go. But myself and my dad would have great old fun. Like, on a Thursday night in Tagneys in Castle Island, there used to always be a session with Con Moynihan, Dennis O'Connor and a gang more. And so at the time, Mom used to work in a factory in Abbeyfield on an evening shift, and she used to go to work with the lady down the road. And we'd be sitting there next to Dad would be like, have you done the homework? I have. Have you done this? I have. Will we go to Tagneys? Oh, we will. On a Thursday, like school the next morning, no bother at all. So you'd have to ring up Costell and you'd be like, can I be put through to my mom on her line? And you'd be like, we're going to Castle Island. So she'd get a lift to Castle Island to pick us up at the end of the night and bring us home. So yeah.
What age were you?
Well, I'd say 11 or 12. Like,
My gosh, but you had that appetite for it though.
yeah, amazing. Like, just sitting around playing away tunes.
And what was it, what was it about that environment that made you want to be part of it? Was it that you were learning from other people? Was it just being with these people who'd played the music? What was it?
Do you know, I'm not even too sure. Like, I do remember that I went through, like, believe it or not, I was a very shy child and you would struggle to get a few words out of me. And my mom jokes that I started talking when I was about 18 and I haven't stopped since. Like, but I do think, like, I was in Group of Kids. I did go through a phase where I was like, oh God, I don't want to do this. So my parents...
You rebelled.
Like, yeah. And I think, say, I was 9 or 10 and my friends were maybe 12 or 13. And it's not that much. But at that age, it was a big age gap. So when you'd go to festivals, they'd be left walk down the street. But I wasn't allowed to go because I was a child.
You're too wee.
Yeah. And I was like, oh no, this is no fun. I can't do anything. I'm stuck. For a while, I resented being stuck with the older people, is how I saw it, because I wasn't running around the street with my friends having the crack. But like, my parents had just gotten me my Sutner concertina, and I was like, I can't give it up now. They'll kill me. Like, you know. But it did, that little bit of fear of having to break the news that that was it. I was sick of it. It just got me through to when I was 13, 14, and then that little bit of freedom to, yeah, you can go down the street and you can do this and just have all the fun and meeting new friends. That's then you were in school going, oh yeah, I have friends now and they're Offaly or they're in Cork and I'm going to meet them in 2 weeks' time for a session, you know. So it was great that kind of way, like, yeah.
So, but the concertina did stay in its box for a couple of years?
No, I still played, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I did. I kind of, you'd go to your session, you'd play away, but then I think everyone maybe goes through that phase growing up where, you know, where you're just kind of going through the motions in your lessons and learning your tunes, and you're probably getting bored of the types of sessions that you're in. You know, just before you hit those teenage years where you make your friends at the Willie Clancy or the Fla or whatever, the Patrick O'Keefe, whatever festival you go to, and, you know, make your little posse that you have. We meet at this festival and that festival and whatever the next festival is.
I think that's a side of traditional music that people who aren't in it don't understand. You know, they see the tunes and they see the sessions, see the bands, you know, the albums, all the rest of it. But the network, the family, the community of traditional music is just off the charts. And it's that idea that you could go literally anywhere in the country and not know one person, and within an hour it feels like you're part of the family.
Yeah. Anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
If there's Irish music there, you have a friend in that building, like.
It's a passport.
Yeah.
And then what did that give you as a teenager? Like, do you think that gave you said there you didn't really talk when you were younger, you were shy.
I was like
did that help bring you out of yourself?
Absolutely. And then I started, so when all my friends got you know, jobs working in pubs or restaurants or anything around the place, I was doing a gig, like. And then I got in with Shím Satira. It was the National Folk Theatre of Ireland. So, like, I was going off in the summertime doing shows. And it's just like, it was like you sounded so cool to your friends. Like, yeah, I have a summer of shows now in Shím. But it was the friends that you make there then as well, like, fantastic. So I did shows there, I'd say, from when I was 16 up until 2020 or that. So for years on a stage. And that posse of friends was great as well. It was dancers and singers as well. Yeah, fantastic.
But the best days of your life, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing here because we're having a conversation. There's something on outside in the street. I think it's kneecap. Not in real life, not the actual band. There's a car driving past and kneecaps playing and blurring out of the window. But sure, that's what you get when you're in the city centre upstairs in Maddens. Yeah, the network and but the idea of doing gigs when you're a teenager, and here we go, the chocolate beds starting. We just like to keep it real. But you're doing all those gigs or getting gigs. Like, what's that like?
It was like, I went for a job interview one time in the local hotel, and so she was like, you'll be on a Saturday. Like, I think I was about 16, 17. She goes, you'll be on a Saturday evening and you'll be washing the plates and it'll be whatever, an hour. And I was like, oh, but I get a gig sometimes on a Saturday night, do you know? So I don't really want to switch. Like, she goes, well, you're going to have to make your decisions. And I just went, thank you very much for your interview, and just walked out the door.
You knew that was
No, I wasn't going to miss my gig. Like, my dad, like, driving all around the country to music lessons, festivals and everything like that, Dad used to always say to me, it was his motto, you will never work a day in your life when you have the music. And he's right. Like, so I teach music in a school of music, and I love going in every day and having the crack with the kiddies, and you know, half of it is about making friends with them and encouraging them, and you know, tell it when they hit that little point where they're going, oh no, this isn't for me. You're like, just stick with it, give it a few years, and you'll have it the best of times. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's lovely to see now. I'm in the school of music. Say I think maybe about 14 years. And so there is kids that I had at the very beginning that now they cover me if I'm taking a night off. Do you know?
It's worked out very nicely.
Yeah. So I was like, I taught them, so they're teaching what I taught them from the same repertoire. It's like, it's basically the same thing. Because sometimes festivals are life, you know.
I really enjoy the way you've this well worked out for yourself, Greta.
Absolutely accidentally, like. I'm the most scattered person.
Mullinaiga agus Chucky she.
For your own advantage.
But in all seriousness, though, the work that you do with kids.
Yeah.
So you're working with kids who have special educational needs, and music in that environment. Tell me just how important it is as a means of communicating with children who find it difficult to communicate.
Yeah. Well, I work as a special needs assistant, and this is my 3rd year in the job, and I absolutely love it.
You can see it.
Oh, I do. Like, it can be the most draining day. Like, you know, there's some days that are tough or whatever, they're very busy, but you come home and you're like, we just sat at the table today. Like, you know, sometimes just sitting at the table to do your work is an amazing thing for a child to do, or that they got through the day. But like, you feel you're helping the kids, but like, we learn so much from them as well, and just how children in general, how they view the world. It's just amazing to be around. The school I work in is fabulous. They have like a really holistic approach to everything. There's a school choir, there's a school band. I would not like to be a teacher. I just don't like, do you know, the teachers in the school, like what they do for all the kids is just fantastic. But I like being the child of the body of the children and just helping them on their school day.
Yeah, because the assistance role sometimes is one that is not fully understood just how important it is, because you are that kind of bridge between the children and the teacher. It's a very special role.
That's it. And sometimes if a child is in a class, there could be 25 kids in the classroom, and that teacher is busy trying to educate a whole load of children, and it's like the special needs assistant that will go, okay, they might need a little break now just to you know, get that green light back on, and that's where you go, come on, we'll go for a little walk or a moving break, or go to a sensory room and chill out, and then come back ready for some more work, like,
and seeing what they need.
Yeah.
And then how does music help them along?
Some kids love it, some kids hate it, but sure, that's like anything. I do remember we did summer provision, and there was just one child in general that there just happened to be a guitar. It's that kind of a school. There was just a guitar in the hallway one day, and she just walked past and she just strummed her hands along the strings, and she was fascinated. And that was it. We spent about 2 weeks just strumming a guitar around the place, singing little songs. Yeah.
But there was that, but it provided that connection.
Yeah, I suppose the vibrations from the strings and everything, like, and even that, I was going, it's guitar, you do this, it makes a noise. But when you look at how much of it, you're like, there's so much more to this than just being a guitar, you know? And
also from the respect of, you know, that you said about the bands and the choirs, you understand what it's like as a child to be part of an ensemble like that, because you've had that experience and it gave you life. So of course it's going to help other kids. Like, the school recorded an album with their choir. How amazing is that? There's a few kiddies in the school that play music. So obviously since I started working, I'm like, concertina, this is a concertina. Like, advocating for the concertina always. But you know, you'd see them coming in for the days that they're rehearsing for something coming up, and they are walking in, they're like, yeah, I have my instrument with me today. Like, they're the cool kids around school. Like they're 6 foot tall. Yeah, that's brilliant. It's amazing. And you say there you're always advocating for the concertina. Is that how it is? There's this thing about concertina players sometimes, because the concertina can be much maligned. And then it's like, no, it's the concertina, it's my instrument, and it's the best. So do you feel you constantly have to be that advocate? Couple of focal anish ó lucht orithe na seachtain seo Music at Maddens. Some words from our sponsors this week on the podcast, and they say there's music in every pint. Smithwick's has been brewed in Kilkenny since 1710. It carries centuries of craft, a ruby red ale with notes of caramel, roasted malt, poured smooth and rich, and it's the taste that's been part of Irish sessions for generations, where stories are told and music is made. So whether you're at Maddens or listening from home, raise a glass and let the tradition play on. Smithwick's is brewed true and shared together, and please drink responsibly, for over 18s only. Oh, absolutely. If there's ever a child around the pub, I'm like, come here, press the buttons and fall in love with this instrument. You will. Because I think I went through a phase where I was like, why did you put me playing the concertina? They get no gigs, do you know?
because friends of mine were going off doing tours and stuff, and it was always, you'd have the accordion, the uilleann pipes, the fiddle, the flute, guitar, piano, bodhrán, and I was like, there's never a concertina there. So then if I ever did get a tour, I used to go with the mindset of, I'm just here as a last resort, like, and I'm going to have the best time ever, you know? So I had a great time on a few tours.
Does that bring a bit of imposter syndrome to the party?
Oh,
though?
absolutely. I spent my whole life, like, even around the John O'Neill Festival this weekend, I was like, what am I doing here? Like, how did I blag this?
You're joking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, even coming over here this morning, I was like, why am I doing this podcast? Like, I don't know why, but sure, I'm here.
Because, Greta, I can tell you, you're the crack. You have so many stories to tell. And if you tell me half of the stories now on this podcast that you told me last night, we'll be doing well.
It's like, last night you were like, is this the Greta I'm getting tomorrow? I was like, oh, no.
Well,
and that was early in the night that we met as well.
Let's talk geography. And the one thing you said to me was, right, do not talk to me about football. And I'm sitting here going, Greta, I'm from Tyrone, right?
Yeah.
And we were in Tyrone last night, and you know what football means to that county and the people of that county. You're from Kerry, and the rivalry over the last, say, 20, 22 years has just been off the charts, like. But you're from Brosna. So tell me, is there much football in Brosna?
There is. Yeah, absolutely. Football. Do you know, like you're on about there, that rivalry? I'm just like, I don't get it. I have to appreciate as well. I'm really happy when Kerry win and stuff. But I'm like, oh, wasn't their day if they lose or something. You're going to get me killed at home now, Lynette. But yeah, so Brosna is massive. They like, football is life in the village, you know. And they won, was it the Junior All-Ireland? 10 years ago now. Mm-hmm. I went to that match.
That's a big deal.
I went to the match because my brother came home from Sydney to go to the match because he loves football. I was like, geez, I might as well go to the match and meet William. And he met my niece for the first time in Croke Park the day that Brosna won the All-Ireland. So I was at the match just going, oh, the baby. I had no interest in what was going on in the field at all. Oh, yeah. But yeah, go Kerry.
go Kerry. And then there was a get together there, like a celebration of that that win 10 years ago recently, wasn't there?
There was, yeah. You're on about the homecoming the night that they won the game. So there was bonfires. They nearly burnt down the Garda barracks in Brosna.
By accident. Right.
It was by accident. It was just maybe not the best strategically placed bonfire. Uh-huh. And a bit of, I'd say if a gust of wind came, we'd have lost half the square. But I was just saying last night that so Brosna is such a football place. Now it loves its music too, and so there was a gang of us, and I was probably in the same form as I was telling you the story last night, you know. And they were like, "It's been years since there's an All-Ireland medal in Brosna." And I was like, "We brought 2 last August." There was a few of us in the village that were in a group of Kjol that had won the senior All-Ireland, but like. Each things to be appreciated in their own mind.
It's not all about football. That was the point you were making, Greta.
Music is here too.
Exactly. And you just won All Ireland's music. Celebrate those as well.
Where's my bonfire? No, they did make us bonfires over the years as well.
Message to the people of Brosna. Greta wants a bonfire, please. Can we just, when she's going home now next time, bonfire,
yeah,
please.
I'm actually going to be there tomorrow evening. I'll get down around 6 o'clock. We'll send out an old message. I'd say it'd be more burning me at the stake after this. Not at all. I warned you this morning. I was like, I know you want to bring up that story and don't do it.
I'm sorry, it was too good. It was too good. Because I know that feeling of, you know, you're winning All Ireland's for music, and it didn't matter because it wasn't football. And it does matter. It's so important because the pride that you have in that moment where you've won something for your town, for your county, it's massive.
And now, don't get me wrong, the people of Brosna are very proud of their musicians as well. But it's just that love of football that is.
Oh, it supersedes it. It seems to
amazing.
supersede everything in certain parts of the country for sure. But you know where you're from, so you know we're talking about the Kerry and Limerick border and Cork close by as well. So that area known as Slíabh Luachra, and the richness and I suppose the heritage of music that you have to tap into there. it's something that you hear about a lot, Greta. You know, oh, they're a Slíabh Luachra musician. Oh, they're Slíabh Luachra tunes. But sometimes people mightn't understand what exactly that means. So what does Slíabh Luachra and that heritage, what does it mean to you?
It is like sometimes people in the middle of Slíabh Luachra don't know what it means, but they know it's Slíabh Luachra, do you know?
Yeah.
It's like growing up, I didn't realise Slíabh Luachra was even a thing. Like again, we were just playing in the sessions, but like looking back as an adult, you're like, I was sitting there with Nicky and Dan McAuliffe, do you know? And I just thought, they live out the road, like Dennis McMahon, like sitting around playing with all these amazing musicians. And like I think I was saying to you when we were chatting last night, I got to kind of my teenage years and I was like, so boring. Like I was just I was done with it. And I went off up, I was going to festivals in Clare and I was like, yeah, this is great. I kept going further and further up the country. And I was like, I need to fit way more notes into my tunes. You know, I think everybody goes through that phase where they like all the mad hornpipes that are just going round in circles, you know. But like I'd say in the last 10 years, I've really come back to Slíabh Luachra and I was like, this was right in front of me. All that time that I was running all around the place trying to find what type of Irish music that I loved. And I was like, it was here all the time. But Slíabh Luachra, it's just there. It's ever present, like.
But that's what happens.
Yeah.
I think that you there's something inside you when you're younger that you just take for granted because it's there.
It's there, absolutely.
Then
and that
you go
was it.
seeking out something else, but then you're like a homing pigeon. You're brought right back to where you should be.
And it's amazing to see in the locality now at home, there is an up and coming gang of kids and teenagers, and Slíabh Luachra is life. Polkas and slides, I think, are cool at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And they wear it with a badge, like it's a badge of honour to be like, oh, I'm from Slíabh Luachra. Do you know, we're playing polkas, we're playing slides, they're class. Like there is jigs, reels and hornpipes in Slíabh Luachra music as well, but I think probably polkas and slides is that notoriety where it goes from, you know?
Absolutely, but that would be the notoriety that has travelled and what makes it significantly Slíabh Luachra music. But what I've always loved about it is, though, that you have that association. It's an area, but that area encompasses 3 counties. And then that's where it starts to get a little bit complicated, doesn't it?
And it does, like, if you go from one side of it to the other, so some people would say that Brosna is the edge of it, and more would say it's Abbeyfield, and depending who you talk to or what musicians they're trying to fit in or leave out or whatever it is, Slíabh Luachra moves, you know. But if you go from one side of it to the other, even the way they play polkas, there might be a 35-minute drive, and Maggie in the Woods is Mary in the Woods, and where it's played, like just how they play their tunes can change so much in a half an hour of a drive away. Like it is, there's all these different takes in it, but it's the same at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Does that make it really exciting for you?
Yeah. Short answer. Yeah, it is. Like, I love it. There's sessions that we go to and you'd sit and you're playing the whole night with your eyes closed and you're just loving the tunes and you're feeling every swing in the slide and every hop in the polka. And then there's sessions that we go to and we're playing more polkas and slides, but we're like standing on our seats and roaring around the place. And they're like, both completely different, but both amazing to be part of as well.
So then what's it like then when you come up north? Well, it's different music altogether, except when Donal Murphy's about.
Yeah.
But it's different music altogether then, but you're still playing the session. Is that challenging for you? How do you approach that?
I think there's a great relationship with people up around here and that Kerry, Limerick, Cork contingent as well. So like, I suppose because of Donal's involvement with the dogs, I grew up listening to a lot of music from up here, and then
there's exposure there.
Yeah, and then there's like, even now with the Patrick O'Keefe Festival, there's loads of musicians that come down to the Patrick O'Keefe. So like, there's always that relationship there that you're playing tunes together the whole time. So you don't notice as much that you're picking from 2 different pots of tunes to say like. Mm-hmm. But I do know, say last year when I came up to the John O'Neill, and we went into the session, and it was actually my first time at Hayden's. Like, I was like a child. I was like, I'm so happy I'm here. But then I kind of just sat there, and I was like, what am I doing here? And I was like, they're like, play a tune. I was like, no, I'm fine. I just joined in for the day. And in the end, Stephen Hayden was like, will you just play slides? I was like, okay. Right. But I didn't know.
You just got this. I've got this image of Stephen Hayden just play slides.
Yeah. That's basically it, yeah.
Woman, what are you at? Play slides.
But it was just, I didn't know where I fit in. Do you know, I was like,
Yeah.
they're all local-ish, and I'm here from Kerry, so I'm just going to join in. And I just sat there, and they were like, play a tune. Oh, yeah, I will soon. And I kept kind of leaving it go.
Yeah, but I think possibly what people from other places don't understand is that the appetite for that music that is different is huge.
Yeah.
You know, and the respect as well. It's like, we want to hear your music. We want you to share it. Want you to, you know, that to keep that friendship up, that exchange of knowledge, because it's just so important.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. Like,
Yeah.
we played our few sets of slides, and sure, sometimes once I start going, they can't stop me. So
They have been warned.
it's like that when I started talking, I never again stopped. But yeah,
Well, you mentioned the Patrick O'Keefe Festival
Patrick O'Keefe Festival.
Tell me about it. For anybody who hasn't heard of the Patrick O'Keefe Festival, like, why is it one that you've been championing this festival since you were very young?
I'd say I could probably count on one hand the amount that I've missed, because we were all sent for music lessons. So my older brother played the accordion for a few years, and so when Mum and Dad were taking him, I was just going along because it's the October bank holiday weekend. My memories of the Patrick O'Keefe as a child, where you'd be given a couple of pounds and you'd run up to the shop up the road and you'd be buying your bits and pieces for your Halloween costumes. It was a very successful Patrick O'Keefe if you came home with, you know, the vampire teeth and the witch fingers to go with your black bag while you went trick or treating.
Brilliant.
That's my earliest memories of the Patrick O'Keefe, was buying my Halloween costume. But just like I was saying earlier, growing up, and I was so lucky that there was the Concertina Festival in Brosna, the Fly by the Field in Abbeyfield, and the Patrick O'Keefe in Castle Island. And it's like the musicians that come to it. I was actually, you know, during the week I was looking through and I was trying to count how many sessions were at it last year. I got to 70 and I was like, sure, there's 2 days left. You know, it's the biggest session trail in the country, and like, it's top class musicians playing sessions. So like, you could go into one pub and you'd have Derek Hickey and his gang, and you'd go into the next pub and you could have Donald Murphy and the Haydens just sitting playing tunes, and it is going from 11 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock the next morning. I think it was Seamus Begley one time, he said, it's Patrick O'Keefe, the only festival where you can play tunes 25 hours a day because the clocks go back.
That's a real Begleyism.
Yeah. But it's just fantastic. Like we were saying there, the love for Slíabh Luachra music and how popular it's getting. So there's an award, the Young Musician Award, and you like musicians from all over the country send in their auditions, but you play a Slíabh Luachra set. Mm-hmm. So Megan McGinley, Simon Crean, these are all musicians that have won it over the last few years and are doing amazing things in their own music careers at the minute. But that they'd go down and they'd get to perform in the concert, and they pick like a mentor to go through a few pieces and play in the concert with them. So like, there's so much happening at the Patrick O'Keefe. I'm in my head.
Even that competition gives a deep respect to the music, doesn't it?
So I think is it 2 sets of tunes, but one of them has to be a Slíabh Luachra set, like. And then to hear your auditions coming in from Donegal, from Dublin, and they're playing their Slíabh Luachra repertoire set, and they're playing it fabulously. And it's lovely to see. Like I said, Slíabh Luachra moves. It can go anywhere. Like,
yeah. And are there musicians in the locality that you're kind of keeping an eye on, up and coming young musicians?
There is a host now. There's loads of great musicians up and coming. But there's a group of box players at the moment coming up along, and there's, you know, I'm not even going to name names because I'll probably leave one of them out.
Will,
but oh my goodness, give it 5 years. The next big things are coming up there, and they're only 16, 17, 18 at the minute. And they're wearing that Slíabh Luachra badge with pride, like, you know. They're not getting lost like I did all over the world, learning all these mad, crazy tunes. They're Slíabh Luachra true and true, and it is amazing to see it, like. And for those kids growing up, like, they're going to the Patrick O'Keefe, and they're going to, so like this year, there's 3 music concerts, 2 singing concerts, workshops. There's talks. Peter Brown is giving a talk on Kieran McMahuna and his recordings of Slíabh Luachra music. Like, and I know that these teenage kids will be going to that. Whereas,
seeking out the information.
Yeah, whereas when I was a teenager, I was like, oh, you know, gone.
Yeah.
There's music all day, every day. Like, it used to be a 3-day festival, and now it's stretched to 5, depending. Some people arrive on the Wednesday, you could nearly say 6. But like, the session trail starts on the Thursday.
So when does training start for this 5-day marathon for you?
And it's just when we get our midterm break, so we actually have the week after to recover.
Happy days.
Yeah. And we got an extra date at the election. Everyone got the day off school on the Friday of it this year too.
Thank you very much. Uchtrain, made up with us.
Yeah. And Brosna's not too far away to put in the vote either, so it's grand. Like, but yeah, it's just you get there Thursday, stay till Tuesday.
I think it's fair to say that you have sold Patrick O'Keefe to anyone who's listening to the podcast this week. And is there a particular venue you go to for tunes, or where do you set up camp for the festival?
You go somewhere different every day.
Yeah,
you go somewhere different every couple of hours.
Yeah.
So like the session trail, if you want to hear a session in a pub, there's loads of them. They have the session trail in cafes, in the museum in the middle of town. There's like, it's for everybody. There's album launches. What else? There's just everything. So you could spend all day playing tunes, then you go off in the evening. So like,
and how have you seen it develop? Because whenever you started going to that festival, you were very young. And you've been such an advocate from an early age. It's clearly grown.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes though, whenever there's a festival, you don't want it to grow because you want it to remain your wee kind of hidden gem.
Stop bringing more people.
Although you love it so much, you want to tell people, you want to advocate for it, but you don't want a big, massive crowd coming.
My favourite thing to do at the Patrick O'Keefe the last couple of years is to go into the hotel in the middle of town, the River Island. It's kind of just the hub. Loads of musicians stay there, and just sit at the top of the stairs. And you spend hours going, hi, like, do you know, you're getting to meet everyone. Years ago, like, I used to love the Patrick O'Keefe when I was younger because the festival season was a lot shorter. Whereas, now there's festivals all year round. Whereas when I was growing up, it would kick off in May, then you'd have the All Ireland Fleadh, which was later in the summer then. And then you were just saying bye to your friends, like, okay, see you next summer. And then there was just this little nugget a couple of months later, like the Patrick O'Keefe, and it was great. But yeah, like, just you sit there for hours, everyone that comes in, and you'd hear people meeting each other, and all you can hear is hi, and you can hear the hugs nearly as they're happening.
You can hear the hugs. That's lovely. So friends, you will know where to find Greta. The October bank holiday weekend, go to the top of the stairs. She'll be at the top of the stairs in the hotel in Castlereagh.
Just smiling. I'll have that pain in the cheek I had last night at the concert as well, because the dogs are playing there this year too. So
fantastic. Oh my goodness. Well, come here. It's been class to talk to you today.
Thank you very much.
I know you are heading up the road again now to play some of those brilliant tunes. Yeah. And you won't have to be asked. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll try get the slides in before Stephen asks
get
me
the
today.
Slides in before Stephen Hayden asks for them. It's been great to talk to you today, Greta. Thank you so much. Greta Curtin on the Music at Maddens podcast this week. Thank you. Sure, Maggie.